Welcome along to a Cheltenham Festival preview. We're going to touch on some of the main races. We're going to touch on the Supreme Novices Hurdle. Also going to have a look at the Arkle. Quick word on the champion. I don't see too much point in going in depth too far. I think clearly we're looking at a very short price favourite who probably be 1 to 3, 1 to 4 shot on the day. Can't see him ever going to 1 to 2. If he did, he might become a bet. So make sure, smash the likes on the video. Let me know you're watching and jump in the live chat. Any questions you have, if you'd like to discuss any horse, whatever it is you're looking to talk about, any selection, any horse, something that is, maybe not talked about that much, but let's kick it off. Well, do you know what? There is some very, very interesting races, but let's start at the very beginning. Right, 1 second now. I'm going to pull up the Supreme Novices Hurdle and have a really, really good look at it. Marine National is a horse I put up on live streams a few weeks ago when he was 5 to 1. I think he still represents good value. Smash that like on the video. Let me know you're here. Jump in the chat below. Show me your comments. And yeah, don't be afraid to get involved. I always do these lives on the Mad Morgan Facebook page on the regular. So I said I better start getting some ones on YouTube, because I've had some really successful ones on Facebook. Thousands and thousands of viewers. And yeah, really, really delighted with how it's going. So let's touch on the Facile Vega being back into favourite. This is insane, lads, how this horse is favourite. We know he had a big reputation. We understand Willie Mullins thinks he's a great horse. But you have to be worried after watching this horse, what he done in Leopardstown. You would have to be worried. He fell out the back of the telly. He literally finished very, very, like there was a big issue, something. Now, I did see a video of him looking out over the stable door the other day, and Willie was doing an interview and the horse was behind him. And I must say, the horse did look no worse for wear. Definitely looked healthy and happy. But for me, I couldn't touch Facile Vega at these kind of prices, not after what's happened. They blamed Paul Townend for this horse losing in Leopardstown. That is absolutely madness. This horse was beaten out of sight, pulled up, stopped to a walk from the second last home. Right, Marine National for me still represents the best. He's around 7 to 2. Impera Pass mightn't run here. Ile de Tomps has been rock solid all year. Maybe underrated a little bit, getting it done when Facile Vega disappointed and ran well enough behind Facile Vega the time before. Lucia, if she came here, she would be very interesting, but I really hope she goes from the Mayor's Hurdle, as I've backed her as big as 5 to 1 for that. And the Mayor's Novice, sorry. Tamarus, the Paul Nichols horse, looks a big chasing type for the future. Monster big horse, but definitely coming in with a progressive profile, maybe with form that little bit below some of the more exciting ones, but you can't rule them out either. Could step forward. Interesting horses then. Chasing Fire unbeaten would have to step up a lot on what he's done, but he's unbeaten in the pocket. Mightn't go here, probably go for the Ballymore. Hunter Jarn, I'm not sure where Hunter Jarn goes. What's his mark? I wonder, did he get a mark? Because Hunter Jarn will be interested maybe in a handicap 143. Steep enough for any novice going to Cheltenham, but he's definitely a good horse and clearly interesting. Dark Raven, I know a few boys mentioned him. I couldn't have him within a month of Sundays. Dr. Bravo, nice horse for the future, could be a really nice chaser. Rare Edition, bubble bursted the last day, but clearly a very good horse. Strong leader, improving as well. So Ollie Murphy, two kind of up and coming horses in here. Can one of them take that step up to this level? Who knows? But the last time he ran two in it, I think they were second and third. High Definition needs to jump a lot better. Clearly a very good flat horse, but for me, I've followed his career very, very closely, and he always tend Yeah, he blew out enough of times now. They weren't top races, but I'd say there's a big hole in him, and he's a poor jumper. I think if he runs in the race, he could cause havoc. Could be up front, clouting for hurdles, making it awkward. Look, for me, it's all about Marine Nationale in this race. Hopefully, Lucia sticks to the mare's novice. So, Marine Nationale. Right, let me come to a few of your questions on this before we move on. Facile Vega on the steel. Big statement, Craig. If you watched them the last day, you should be worried. All right, Paddy. Well, listen, you should be worried if you're backing them at 9-4. Who in the right mind of Jesus is backing Facile Vega at 9-4? Absolutely madness. 7 or 8-1, you might chance him. He fell out the back of the telly. All right, Paddy, do you think we've all been caught as a no-go for the Albert Bartlett? I really hope we've all been caught runs. I have him back to big prices. He did disappoint in Ireland. If he doesn't run, I'll get my money back on him in the future. He's a real chaser of the making. Very interesting. And what about Shoot First and the Pretemps? I don't know. Shoot First mightn't even run here. Very quiet. Not much about him. Let's see what happens. I don't know. He's still at solid at the head of the bet, and I have him backed as well. But I don't know. It could be risky. Mightn't even show up. Who knows? Town and Dub, we haven't seen him since. You know what I mean? We haven't seen him. Town and Double Handful round the bend. Yeah, I don't know. If Marine Nationale ran against Facile Vega in the Dublin Racing Festival, would he have won? I feel he would have, yeah. I feel he would have. Well, Facile Vega was a no-go, so that blew the race wide open. But here's the thing. I backed Marine Nationale for this race before Facile Vega blew out. In my opinion, Marine Nationale is a better horse than Facile Vega as a hurdler. I'm not saying that Facile Vega wasn't a wonderful bumper horse and a top class horse, but what I am saying is that Marine Nationale for me is this. It could be the potential star in this fucking lineup. What's your thoughts on Echoes and Rain, Paddy? I think she's a very good mare. She did get well beaten in Cheltenham last year, however. Well, not well beaten, but she was beaten. But she's more mature, I think, this time round. She's interesting. Does she go for the Mayor's Hurdle? Does she go the Champion Hurdle? Where does she run? I don't know. Are they going to... Will Imperial Pass win the Ballymore? Yeah, he looks a real contender. He looks a real contender. A real contender. But I've backed Paul Nicholls' horse, but we'll come to that in a minute. I just want to stick to this for a minute. Can't see reverse forecast being a good bet. Facile and Marine. I can't have Facile Vega in Cheltenham. If he wins, more luck to them, but I couldn't back him after watching him running the last day and the time before that. When he won in Leopardstown the time before that, he was far from impressive. If a top-notch Willie Mullins horse gets a soft lead in front, which he got the time before at Christmas, when the other horse made a slow jump at the first, he landed in front, and no one took him on the whole race. He controlled the whole race, tiny bit lit, and he won. But he didn't sprint away like a top class Willie Mullins horse. A top class Willie Mullins Grade 1 hurdler getting an easy lead in Leopardstown would have won by 25 lengths running away, and that's the reality. Right, some really good bets gone out on the Colbert Sports Patreon service today. Check them out. Also landed a lovely bet yesterday. One shot, one kill yesterday. 4 points win on a 7-2 winner. Well backed, went off 15-8 and bolted in. I'm only going to be having around 10 bets on the Patreon service for Cheltenham. I won't be backing in every race. I have some real good opinions. I've already given out some bets already, and just to say around 10 bets for the whole festival, but 10 really strong ones. I will have some for YouTube and Facebook as well, but as far as strong ones go, roughly about 10. Right, let's move on. For me, I like Marine Nationale, hoping Lucia runs in the Mayor's Novice. And I think Marine Nationale is the horse to beat. I think Facile Vega's price, I think the bookies are going to want to lay him. If the Irish start backing him into 7-4, 6-4, the bookies will take the hand off the Irish and take all their money in the Supreme. Right, we move on to the Arkle. What is a very, very interesting race. We have a clash of the Brits against the Irish. We have John Bond, only ever lost to Constitution Hill, has been pretty okay over fences. Some very good performances. He looked really good in Sandown. Some underwhelming performances. Doesn't really unmatch his hurdling career. However, he has a real danger here in El Fabiolo, a top class horse who pretty much proved he was nearly as good as John Bond, if not better, when going down by a narrow margin on his second ever start for Willie Mullins over. We then go to Dysart Dynamo, who made a blistering pace, an absolute blistering pace in what looked a race fit for any champion chase, that novice in Ireland. Banbridge, I think he steps out in trip. San Roy is interesting if he runs here with all the pace. However, I'm not sure if he's a guaranteed runner or he is entered in maybe a handicap or not. What's his mark? He would be interested in a burn up. Yeah, 153. I'd say he'll run here with all the pace. Sir Gerhard, unlikely to run here. Final orders, as far as I know, he's going for the handicap. Boot Hill, bit underwhelming. Flame Bearer can't have it. Right, so for me, in the article, we're looking at El Fabiolo to get it done again. Dicer Dynamo to run a monstrous race, but I think when it comes to crunch time in the last couple of furlongs, I think El Fabiolo might be the one to tough it out the most and get up the hill a bit stronger. John Bond didn't, ran really well in the Supreme, but didn't set the world alight and eventually was beaten out of sight. Now, they did go very quick. But I don't know. I think Dicer Dynamo, El Fabiolo, I wouldn't put anyone off a little reverse forecast. John Bond to run really well, but just probably fall short of El Fabiolo. Right, we're going to skip the Champion Hurdle, skip the Ultima. I have a real good bet in the Ultima on the Patreon service, so I'll leave that. Now, I wanted to touch on the Mayor's Hurdle, the 410 on Tuesday. I really think Brandy Love is a value price now at 11-2. I thought she got a beautiful ride for her comeback the other day, whilst giving plenty away. Now, we will see her go on a more favourable left-handed track, and I do think she is value. Honeysuckle is short as 2-1. Marie's Rock I have backed already, and I really hope she runs here. There is talk about her going to the World Hurdle. So Brandy Love, right, at 11-2, I think is a very, very good each way bet. If she went off 11-2 or 6-1 on the day, which I can't see it happening in a million years, I think I would thump her in the straight place markets. If I could get 5-4, 6-4, if I could get 6-4 Brandy Love straight place market, I'd be thumping it. Marie's Rock for me is probably the winner, but we don't know if she's going to run here. That's the issue. So if she did go out here and you had a few quid each way now on Brandy Love, straight away Brandy Love will be cut from 11-2 to possibly 7-2. If Marie's Rock came out here even a little bit shorter, maybe 3-1. Love Envoy's interesting, but she's pretty much looks really good when the rain comes. But she's a very good mare. So for me, Honeysuckle, although heading the betting, I have backed Marie's Rock, but I think the value is in the price of Brandy Love for an each way bet. Right, let's move on to the Ballymore Novices Hurdle. Right, I'll answer one or two of your questions. Apparently Epatante worked all over Marie's Rock the other day, over a quarter, so it must be over a mile and a quarter. Yeah, that wouldn't worry me at all. Marie's Rock's best form came when she stepped out in trip, and plus Epatante, I'd say, is a dream to work. I wouldn't really read too much into that. Marie's Rock, when she wins her races, she does her best work late. Who you think will win the Gold Cup, Paddy? I have backed Jewick at big prices each way, and I have backed Brave Man's Game each way. However, I do think the favourite is still the horse to beat. He is pretty short to back though, but Brave Man's Game has some serious form. Probably the best piece of form coming into it, really, beating La Prez and the King George. But let's see what happens. Interesting race. Right, Hermes Allen topping the betting here. Very interesting horse for Paul Nichols. Really interesting horse. Very slick jumper. And the way he won in Newbury, lads, I can tell you one thing. Imperial Pass will have to be as good as they think he is. Goodland will have to be as good as they say he is. And Gaelic Warrior has absolutely no chance if he jumps out to the right anyway. Um, Champ Kiley. Champ Kiley's interesting at a big price. In the Pocket might run here 12 to 1. Absolute Notions, Renault K and Leopardstown looks more of a staying type though. Only a 5-year-old might run here rather than the Albert Bartlett. I don't even know if he's entered in the Albert Bartlett, but he could maybe be thrown into the Martin Pipe, Absolute Notions. If Absolute Notions ran in the Martin Pipe, might be absolutely interesting. Right, so for me, Hermes Allen is clearly the horse to beat, but this is a tough race. When you go through it all, there's definitely a lot of dangers. Goodland looked pretty good the last day. He's a 7-year-old, so he's going to be pretty much well hardened for this. Gaelic Warrior, we all know he clearly looks pretty good, but he won 2-0 contest, and then he won a handicap in good style at Leopardstown. Now I know he was very good, but the horse that finished second isn't even rated high enough to be entered in Cheltenham, and the horse that finished third was Ballyadam, who, to be fair to Ballyadam, I could see him running well in a handicap at this year's festival. I think Ballyadam might run well in a handicap for sure this year. I have a feeling if he runs in the county hurdle or something like that, I think he can run well. He's coming back to a bit of form. Right, Hermes Allen in the Ballymore for me. Right, we'll move on so to the Brown Advisory, where you all know I'm all over the Real Whacker. He's just a really nice horse. Really like him. Jerry Kalam in here, starting to get shortened up now into 7 to 4. Mighty Potter won't run here. Sir Gerhard might come here. He has no business coming here. He'll be gassed out in it, I think. Time Hill was a very good hurdler, but got his act together in a race that fell apart the last day. But he did win impressive, to be fair. He hit the line good. But he jumps a little bit up in the air, and around Cheltenham, he might just be hanging in the air a little too long with a lot of fences to jump. I do think the pace collapsed that day. The winner has since been beaten, and the third horse pulled up since, or fell or something, I don't know. Garden and Miziel doesn't run here, goes for the, well, as far as I know, goes for the amateur race. Ramillies probably will run here. Stage Star, possible runner here, looked pretty good over 2.5 the last time. And Gallant Tay, Dan Skelton's mare, definitely a really nice mare, gets to £7. She needs a bottomless though, probably to be at her best. Jumped very good the last day, and the time before she jumped indifferent, but she was good on her 2 runs around Kempton. Thunder Rock, definitely a player here, stepping up and trip should suit him. The Devil's Coachman, yeah, the known Meads horse has a chance, but I'd be shocked if he was good enough to beat, the likes of the Whacker or Jerry Kalam. Yeah, for me, it's all about the Real Whacker. I put him up all year, backed him at 50 to 1 the whole way down. Put him as, look, it is what it is. It's all over him. My banker of the festival, all over him. Right, we move on to the Coral Cup. So pretty interesting to see what kind of horses are going to get in here, what's going on. So let me see. We have Ballyadam's in here. I'm not sure if he'll run in the Coral Cup. I think he might run in the county. I'm not too sure, but maybe he'll run in the Coral. I know he was he fifth in this last year, or was it the county he was fifth in? I think he was fifth to state man, wasn't he? Was he fifth to state man last year? Let me see. Yeah, he was fifth to state man in the county. I thought that's where he might go again, and let me see, fourth or fifth. Yeah, he finished fifth to state man. I do think Ballyadam can run a solid race at this year's festival. Maybe look for him in the straight place market. I did like a horse in here, but he's not going to get a run. Who else is in here? Yeah, all too much weight. Trying to get them in, the ones you like. Right. For me, I would go straight place bet on Ballyadam. Or sorry, not in that race, in the county. Right, the champion chase, here we go. Edwardstone, the right favourite now, and Ergamine and himself joint favourites. I think an Ergamine would have to go a little bit bigger before I'd forgive him. He's run the last day. I didn't think he jumped. They blamed the colour of the fucking fence. What's your biggest bet at the festival? The Real Whacker, Darren. All over the Real Whacker. Marine National and the Real Whacker are kind of where I'm at, and then a few others in the handicaps that are gone out on the Patreon service. Honeysuckle was going to beat Constitution Hill a few weeks ago, according to you, and you're not giving Stateman a chance. David, the way the season has played out, I clearly don't fancy Honeysuckle anymore. At the start of the season, when she was unbeaten, I wasn't going to disrespect her. I thought she might have been value around the 4-1, unbeaten, 2 from 2 in the race. However, the way the season has played out, clearly my opinion of Honeysuckle is a lot different now. And yeah, like I said, everybody came to me roaring, Constitution Hill is going to win, Constitution Hill is going to win. And I say, yes, that's fine. Show me your dockets. Are you on them at 9-2? Are you on them at 7-2? Have you backed them at 5-2? Have you backed them at even money? No. So you come on when he's 1-4 favourite. All these people come on. He's 1-4 favourite, and they tell me Constitution Hill is going to win the champion hurdle. Who gives a fuck? He's 1-4. What are you going to do? Put a 4 million on him to win one? I only ever talk about horses that are could be value at the price. So what I'm trying to explain to you is everybody, we all know Constitution Hill can win the champion hurdle, but it has nothing got to do with the individual horse and everything to do with the price. Are you going to go now and back Constitution Hill at 1-4? No. Who gives a fuck if he can win it at 1-4? I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to find value in races. So all these guys come running, oh yeah, Constitution Hill is going to win. We know that. There's no value in his price at 1-4. Forget about it. You missed the boat. Show me your dockets. You're on him at 9-2. And then I'll happily listen to you cheer. I'm on the Real Whacker at 50-1. He's now 4-1. These are the kind of bets I'm interested in. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm not interested in backing 1-4 shots, whether they can win or lose. So we all know Constitution Hill, the way the season has played out, is a massive favourite, and I don't think has any danger. I think Stateman will put it up to him, but I think he'll be good enough to beat Stateman in my opinion. However, he has a live threat, but as the way the season has played out, it's just like after watching Constitution Hill this season, watching Honeysuckle underperform, watching Stateman thrive, I still believe I would back, if the markets reopened right now and Constitution Hill went 1-2, I would back it off the board. For your interest, John Bon looked and worked appallingly at Kenton the other day. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised with that. He is very temperamental. It was the same in his hurdle races. He works good. Some days he looks very good. Some days he looks very bad. That's just him. At the end of the day, he's only ever been beaten once by Constitution Hill. But I just think El Fabiolo is... And lads, stop reading into horses working. The best race horses have been the worst workhorses for the entire, since horse racing ever began. The Morning Glory workhorses were never top race horses. The good race horses show it on the race course. Remember that. Right, let's go through the champion chase. Can't have an Ergamine at the prices, although he's a very good horse. He won a very poor renewal of this last year when Sishkin underperformed, and then he beat a nice little horse of Venetia Williams, but you have to think it was the worst champion chase in the history once Sishkin underperformed. Editor the Geit, or Editor the Jeet, definitely very interesting runner for sure. Looked really good the last day. Did he get a freebie or did he win on merit? That question can't be answered for sure, but I think Edwardstone, for me, I'd take Edwardstone to win it. I think he's a very good horse, Edwardstone. I really think he's a very, very good horse. And yeah, I think he'll win it. Blue Lord, I don't care where he runs. He's just he's not as good as everyone thinks or thought he was. Gentleman to me is a good horse, but can he show it around Cheltenham? I highly doubt it. Nuba, no. Look, a lot of people mention Nuba this day. If Nuba wins the champion chase, I will be absolutely flabbergasted. Shackham Poursois, no chance. Granatine, no chance. Fumble the Suvila second last year, no chance this year. Captain Guinness 50 to 1, can run well at a price sometimes. Course Sublime is a bridle horse and probably running the handicap. For me, if the ground comes up okay, I think Edwardstone might be too strong, lads. He might be too strong. And now you're going to have Energumene go forward after what happened the last day. So if Editor the Geese and Energumene go forward, Edwardstone will absolutely romp in. I think if they take each other on, Edwardstone will sit behind them and fucking romp home. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Right. The cross country race is not a race I have a big opinion on, so I'm going to leave that alone. I don't see the point. I think Delta Works a very good horse, but he's very short at the head of the betting and whatever. I'm leaving it alone. We won't be touching the champion bumper because the bumper, everybody likes to have an opinion on the bumper. For me, I think I find it impossible. You have so many good young horses. There's a new bumper winner every week by 10 lengths. He's the next bumper winner. He's the next bumper winner. So for me, lads, I'm just going to be honest. It's not a race I have a big opinion on, so I'm not going to be even discussing it. We're going to move on here now and talk about the Gold Cup, because the Gold Cup is something that deserves a mention, right? I did give out a treble last night on the Mad Murrigan Facebook Live. Make sure and like the Mad Murrigan Facebook page. I do daily lives there. I gave out a treble: El Fabiolo, Lucia, and Allegor de Vassi. El Fabiolo, the Arkle; Lucia, the Mare's Novice Hurdle; and Allegor de Vassi in the Mare's Chase. We'll come to that in a minute. I think she's a stonewall good thing. The Poodles Cheltenham Gold Cup. Can the Shark pull it off with Hewitt? Right, heading the betting is a potential superstar. Short of 6-4 in places, surely can be backed a little bit juicier than that. Galopon de Champs, a 7-year-old on a bit of a tear up in the novice ranks. I thought his performance in Cheltenham was a little bit so-so, but he had to make his own running when he was, pretty much up in the ante over a trip far shorter than the Gold Cup. But he was going to stay on really well when falling. It was pretty much a one-horse race. A one and done. I had 500 on him coming to the last, about to celebrate. Boom, money gone. That was life. Down he went. But look, he's been pretty good since. Very good in the Durkin. And then he went on, and I thought he won really well when winning a bit ugly in Leopardstown the last day. I thought it went very steady. It left it then that kind of when you go that steady, every horse has a chance. But when he got to the line, only one horse was going to win. And they all said Statler was staying on. But this horse was pulling away from the horse that was staying on. Because if you ask me going through the line, Statler might have been staying on against Fury Road and pulling away from the rest. But he certainly was not getting any closer to Galopon de Champs. Right, Brave Man's Game for me. I'll back them each way at 10-1. I just like the price. Do I think he can win it? I do not know for sure, but I do think he will run a monster race. I think Paul Nicholls is boiling under the skin, because if you ask me, Paul Nicholls rates this horse right up there with what he's had, and rightly so, because his King George performance, beating a horse in La Homme when everything went wrong. I thought he got a very poor ride that day from Cobden, too wide, letting the other horse jump in front of him. but he still powered through the line. Clearly a different horse. I watched back the Ballymore the other day of him running in it. He was a greyhound, a whippet. He is now twice the size of the horse he was in the Ballymore. And I'm not joking you, he will run a race at 10-1. He's been back. I see he's been nibbled. I reckon Brave Man's Game will go off a lot shorter on the day. I can't see him going off a 10-1 shot. I can see him going off about a 9-2, 5-1 shot. Well back, 5-1 shot, well back, second favourite. A plus Tard is interesting. Henry de Bromhead singing his praises. Back, feeling good, and how can you not respect him? A dynamite winner last year. Look, it was him first and the rest last year. That's been honest. He annihilated them. Noble Yates could definitely run really well in a slog. Stays really well. And the Gold Cup, lads, is a fair old grind. You need a battle-hardened horse. And Noble Yates, after coming in, winning a national, had a prep run around Cheltenham the last day in a race that I can just get a marker, draw the line straight through it. I thought they went too slow in spots. Didn't suit Protectorat. Didn't suit Noble Yates. Mark up the two of their runs. I thought the two of their runs was better than the bare result. Statler, clearly an interesting runner, but Patrick Mullins on the big open chase days hasn't a great record in Cheltenham for Willie. But not to say he can't win on Statler, but just to say his record so far isn't great in the open chases. It is in the amateur races, but not in the open chases. Sishkin should be running here. Connections, yeah, I don't know why they haven't thrown him in here. Like, they would give the horse a chance at superstardom. Like, imagine Sishkin come in and absolutely warped Gallop on the Champ. Warped him. Conflated will be up there at the front end. A High Senior be up there on the front end. Manella Indo be up there on the front end. Ewick just tucked in behind that brutal pace. If he can find the rhythm, I fancy him to run well. He's into around 20-1 now. I'm sure you'll still get 25s if you shop around. I've backed him at 25s, 33s and 40s. Definitely really interesting. Sounds Russian. Runs here. Another one that gets into a good rhythm but should be found wanting over a stiff track like this. Capadano, I know people like him. I heard Willie Mullins talking highly of him last year. However, I don't know if he's going to run here or not. Fury Road could run in the 2-5. The Real Whacker, the Brown Advisory, I'm hoping that's where he goes or I'll jump off a cliff. But no, the Real Whacker, definitely a lively runner in the Brown Advisory. I hope Connections don't send him here. I highly doubt he will go here, not with a full strength Gold Cup. Should run in the novice race, only a 7-year-old. And there's always next year. Go win your novice race. You've all year to win a Gold Cup and have a good horse for many a year. I feel like if he ran in the Gold Cup this year, I just think it might be just a step too far, and it would be horrible to, and I'm not saying that from a gambling standpoint, I'm saying that from the horse. It would be horrible to come out with Cheltenham with half a horse you went in with. I don't see the point in running a novice in the Gold Cup. However, Connections think a lot of them, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. If it was an under strength Gold Cup, but this is, look, listen to this for a Gold Cup. Gallop on the Champs, Brave Man's Game, last year's winner now working the house down, Connections over the moon. Noble Yates, Grand National winner. Statler, Protector at last year's third. Conflated, the Irish Gold Cup winner. A High Senior, back to form the last day. Ewick, a story of, the battle-hardened Ewick after winning over hurdles, fences, Galway plates. Curry National, unlucky to come down when looking like he was going to win off a monster mark. It's just a really, really good Gold Cup. I do think Sishkin should have been thrown in here. And if Sishkin was thrown in here, you could argue is one of the greatest Gold Cups of all time. Yeah, unbelievable. Anyway, what a race. What a fucking race. Find the winner. If you can find the value. If the favourite smashes this field, he really is the business. Look, I'm not against the favourite, but I am against his price. I think the favourite is the most likely winner for sure, because of the way he's hitting the line the last day. The stamina won't be an issue. Jumps, travels, has speed. Is he the next KO star? Maybe he is. He's the type of horse that could win a Tingle Creek and a Gold Cup, I feel. I feel he's that type of horse. However, Are you going to back him at 6-4? No. Right, let's get the mirrors chase up, lads, and then we're going to wrap this one up on that. And we will do a couple closer to the time. Make sure and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Right, for me, lads, Allegor de Vassi, I just think she's an absolute weapon. Impervious has been very good. She's very knacky. She's earned her stripes, and she's coming in here. But unfortunately, I think, barring an accident from the favourite, I think she's taken on a monster. I think on any other year, I would really like Impervious. I think she's earned her, really earned her position at the head of the market. But this Willie Mullins horse is a jumbo jet. It's a jumbo fucking jet. And very interesting. A jumbo jet, yeah. Right, let's go through them. Ellie May, last year's hurler, did she win it twice even? She definitely won and was placed in it. Dolcia, Sambella, little bit underwhelming the last day, but had a really good year. Magical Days, bounced back to form. Jeremy's Flame, very interesting. Good winner the last day, but Jeremy's Flame has got better and better and better. When she first started out, I couldn't really have her, but she's got better and better and better. So good training performance from Gavin Cromwell for sure. She's improved with age. Galila the Tame, if she ran here, she's very interesting, but she wanted heavy ground over this trip. Yeah, look, for me, it's a barring an accident, which I do think Allegor de Vassi is a very good jumper. I think she'll be next to impossible to beat with a clear round. She just looks to have ability of a big gelding, that kind of way, just a monster. What wins the Triumph, Paddy? Lossymouth. I don't know why everyone's going against her, Darren, to be honest. She's getting a lot of weight, and I thought she enhanced her reputation the last day. Is Blood Destiny a very good horse? Yeah, I've no doubt he is, but I don't know. I think it's hard to give Lossymouth the weight. If you watch back when she got held up in Leopardstown and got caught on the rail, she cruised around into contention, finished second against the horse that some people actually fancy the winner. And if you ask me, with a clean run and an uninterrupted passage, Lossymouth would have absolutely smashed the winner in Leopardstown. And I know a lot of pundits say, oh, you can't say whether she would have won or not. I don't know what race they were watching. She got absolutely mauled down the inner, lost about 8, 9, 10 lengths, and then came 3, 4 wide of the field to get herself into just behind the challenging position at the last. I think Lossymouth, a lot of people are quick to chuck her out. It was only before Leopardstown, before she got beat. It was only that no one could see her better. She was a Stonewall good thing. And for me, she ran better in Leopardstown. She just didn't get the win due to, the circumstances we're all familiar with. I think she's definitely the best with getting the weight. That's what I think. I think getting the weight, she's the best. Right, I hope you enjoyed that live stream. We'll definitely get one closer to the timeout as well. So make sure if you're over in Cheltenham, come say hey, hang out, have a bit of laugh. Let's back a winner. Yeah, well, let's hope we start getting a return on some of these bets. I've been back in the anti-post markets for a long time now, and it's about time now we started maybe hold it off a bit and starting to see can we get a return first before we play anymore. Right. Thanks for watching. Smash the like as always. Links to the Patreon service all over the channel, and appreciate everybody that watches. Let's hope we can, I really like that treble. El Fabiolo, Lucia, and Allegor de Vassi. Obviously the Whacker, I've been singing his praises all year. I'm pretty sure he'll run in the Brown Advisory. I think it's just perfect race from, like I said, I haven't spoke to Paddy at all about it, but I reckon he's nailed on to running the Brown Advisory. It just doesn't make any sense for a full strength Gold Cup. And you have, who else do I like? What about Comfort Zone in the Triumph? Yeah, CJ is he's interesting, or definitely interesting. He's been steadily progressive. He's by a nice sire in Churchill. Well, I think he's by Churchill anyway. Is he by Churchill? No. Yeah, well, we see. Can we confirm that? I like Churchill as a sire. Well, we just see Comfort Zone if we can find them. But he's steadily progressive. And yeah, that's him. He's by Churchill. He's a steadily progressive horse. And wouldn't put anyone off at a price. I just think that with the Triumph, to give the mare, what did they give her? The 7, is it as well? I think it is the 7 too, isn't it? So you're looking at a mare who's going to be getting £7, who's already probably achieved the most. Is that fair to say that Lossimo has achieved the most? And she's going to get the £7. Is that fair? No, I don't know. Is it? Let's just pull up the race for 1 second again. So, because since we have a bit of interest in it, let's talk about it. Right. We keep gambling, lads. I'm gonna go insane. This Cheltenham is just nuts, isn't it? It's just nuts, right? It is nuts. Right, let's just pull it up for a minute. Yeah, £7. So look, obviously Blood Destiny, the camp seems to be talking him up lately, saying he's probably the better horse. So they have a fair idea, and you have to respect that. However, Lossimo has been pretty good on the track, and she receives the weight. Right, Comfort Zone as well. Interesting, 10-1, nice price. Gala de Marseille. So here's the interesting thing for me, right? When Lossimo ran in Leopardstown the last day, I thought it was a career best performance. Now here's the funny thing. Do you notice anything? Does anyone notice? This is why Lossimo will win the Triumph Hurdle, right? Does anyone notice that in Leopardstown everything went wrong for her, right? Everything went wrong. But she managed to run down everyone bar another good filly. Do you know why that is? Because the other good filly got the weight as well. But you look at Tico, Ascending, and all the other geldings, and there is 1 or 2 mares further down the field, but she had no problem cruising around, running down geldings. Now, albeit I'm sure Tico wasn't killed here either, but she had no problem cruising around geldings and getting herself into position. For me, Lossimo clearly is the one to beat, getting the weight. And not only that, she already has the best form in the book. Right, that's it. Marine Nationale and the Real Whacker, 2 of my biggest bets at Cheltenham. Best of luck to you all. And I have some interesting horses gone out in the handicaps on the Patreon service. I'm only going to have roughly about 10 bets on the Patreon service for Cheltenham. 10 solid bets. Obviously I tipped up the Whacker months ago. I also, as a max bet, I also tipped up a couple of others that are out there. I have 3 pints each way, or 3.5 pints each way, and a 12-1 shot. I have 3 pints each way and a 14-1 shot. So stuff like that. Anyway, keep following Cold Bear Sports. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate everyone that does. All right, take care.